She was smaller than him, but when her baby was threatened, she refused to run. The silverback stepped closer. His massive body blocked the light. The baby froze behind its mother. She knew she couldn't win by strength. She knew the silverback was far more powerful. But a mother doesn't always fight because she expects to win. Sometimes she fights because there is someone behind her who has nowhere else to go.
The silverback took another step forward. His eyes were fixed on the baby. The mother immediately moved between them. She knew the danger was getting closer. The silverback was stronger, much stronger, but she refused to step aside. Her baby was trembling behind her. Then suddenly, the silverback charged forward. The mother didn't run. She stood there and faced him. This was no longer a warning. This was a mother's fight. Continuation. The silverback stopped only a few steps away. The mother gorilla beat her chest and shouted, trying to make herself look bigger. Her body was shaking, but she didn't retreat. Behind her, the baby pressed against her back. The silverback stared at her for a long moment. Neither of them moved. The entire family seemed to hold its breath. Then the silverback raised his arm, and the mother knew the real confrontation was about to begin. The silverback suddenly raised his arm. The mother knew what was coming. She quickly pushed her baby behind her. Then, the silverback moved forward. But this time, she didn't back away. She screamed and struck toward him. The forest erupted with noise. The baby cried out in fear. The mother was terrified, but she kept fighting, because behind her was the one thing she could never abandon, her baby. And then, something unexpected happened. Continuation. The silverback stopped for a moment. He looked at the mother. She was breathing heavily, standing between him and the baby. The other gorillas watched in silence. Nobody dared to interfere. The mother knew she was risking everything, but she stayed exactly where she was. The silverback stepped forward again. She raised her arms. Neither side was willing to surrender. Then the silverback suddenly moved toward the baby, and the mother reacted instantly. The silverback moved toward the baby. The mother reacted instantly. She rushed between them and grabbed her little one. The baby clung tightly to her body, but the silverback kept coming. The mother looked at him, then looked down at her frightened baby. For a moment, she seemed afraid, but she refused to move. She stood there, trembling, protecting the only life that mattered more than her own. Then the silverback suddenly roared. The whole forest seemed to shake, but instead of running, the mother stepped forward. She was challenging him again. Continuation. The silverback raised his arms, trying to intimidate her, but the mother didn't look away. Her baby remained safely behind her. The tension between them grew stronger with every second. The other gorillas stayed at a distance, watching the confrontation unfold. Then the silverback suddenly charged. The mother pushed her baby away from the danger and faced him alone. This time, there was no escape. Only one question remained. Would she survive long enough to protect her baby? The silverback charged. The mother quickly pushed her baby behind the others. Then she turned around and faced him alone. She was smaller, she was weaker, but she refused to run. The silverback stopped just inches away from her. For a moment, their eyes met. The mother let out a powerful scream. She wasn't asking for a fight. She was sending a message. You will not touch my baby. The silverback roared back. The ground seemed to shake beneath them, but the mother stood firm. Then suddenly, the silverback reached toward the baby, and the mother attacked. She struck at his arm and pushed herself between him and her child. The confrontation became more intense than ever. But then, something unexpected happened. The silverback suddenly stopped fighting. He looked past the mother, straight at the frightened baby, and his expression began to change. For a moment, everything went silent. The silverback stood face to face with the mother. She was still protecting her baby, but then the silverback stopped. He lowered his arms. His angry expression slowly disappeared. The mother didn't trust him yet. She kept her body between him and her baby. The little one peeked from behind her mother. The silverback looked at the baby, then looked back at the mother. Maybe he finally understood. This mother wasn't fighting because she hated him. She was fighting because she loved her child. The silverback took one slow step backward. The mother remained alert. Then another step. The tension began to disappear. But suddenly, the baby crawled out from behind its mother. And what happened next changed everything. The baby slowly stepped out from behind its mother. Everyone froze. The mother immediately reached for her little one. But the baby didn't run away. It looked straight at the silverback. The massive male lowered his head. There was no roar, no threat, only silence. The mother remained ready to protect her baby, but something had changed. The silverback slowly moved closer and stopped. He reached out his hand. The baby hesitated. Then, it took one tiny step forward. The mother watched nervously. For the first time, she wasn't standing between them. She was simply watching. The silverback gently touched the baby, and the little gorilla didn't pull away. The fight was over, but the real surprise was only beginning, because the silverback did something nobody expected. The silverback slowly lowered himself to the ground. The baby stayed close. Then he gently reached out and pulled the little one toward him. The mother watched carefully. There was no anger in his eyes anymore, only calm. The baby climbed onto his chest. The same silverback who had once frightened them was now protecting the baby. The mother finally relaxed. She moved closer and sat beside them. For a moment, the family was completely silent. No fighting, no fear. Whose three gorillas together again? The mother had fought because she believed her baby was in danger. But in the end, she didn't have to defeat the silverback. She only had to make him understand. A mother's love can be stronger than fear. And sometimes, the greatest victory isn't defeating an enemy. It's bringing a family back together. After everything they had been through, the little gorilla finally came home. He slowly walked toward his mother, then stopped for a moment, as if he was making sure she was really there. And then, he ran into her arms. His mother pulled him close, holding him tightly, as if she never wanted to let him go again. The silverback watched quietly beside them. The little one was finally safe, and for the first time after all the fear and struggle, the whole family was together again. The mother held her baby close, while the silverback stayed beside them. No more fighting, no more fear. Just a family together again. Because sometimes, the greatest victory is simply coming home to the ones who love you.